Late last year, I traveled to Southeast Asia with the Love 146 organization because I wanted to learn more about the issue of child trafficking in order to better understand what's needed to fight against this horrible injustice. On the first day of the trip, I met a beautiful 14-year-old girl from the Philippines who told me one of the most heartbreaking stories I've ever heard. It was a horror story coming from the mouth of an angel. She was the victim of extreme exploitation, and yet in spite of the horrible pain and suffering she had to endure, she was so thankful just to be alive. She sat there in front of me like a regular kid, able to smile, able to love, and able to laugh. Prior to going to Asia, I had seen videos exposing the issue of exploitation and trafficking of children, and also read several blogs and articles on the issue. And despite all of my efforts to prepare, nothing prepares you for coming face to face with a group of girls who have been rescued and want to share their stories with you. Or worse, walking down the street and coming face to face with kids who are still trapped and seeing the pleading and hopeless look in their eyes. You cannot help but be changed. An estimated 1.2 million children are exploited every year, some as young as 5 and 6 years old. 2 children every minute are sold, which means in the time that it took you to watch this video, 10 children were sold worldwide. The real tragedy is that these children are forgotten because they're not our neighbors, they're not our friends, and they're not our children. But what if they were your next door neighbor, or your child's best friend, or your own child? You'd stop at nothing to rescue them, and that's just what these kids need. Someone to care, to stop at nothing to save them. Since I've been home, the most common question I get asked is, what will you do now? Which is what I want to talk to you about today. I've spent the last 15 years of my life building brands and clothing lines for large retail companies. Like anyone, my career has been filled with many highs and, of course, some lows. But despite any success, I could never shake the ever-present pull on my heart that there has to be more than just making money for these large companies. So I've decided to do something about it. Together with my husband, I'm stepping out and launching my own children's clothing line with the sole purpose of giving back to fight child trafficking and exploitation. We are calling our brand LAUGH, which stands for Love Abundantly, Unconditionally Giving Help. We will give away 30% of our profits back to excellent organizations battling the exploitation of kids, both in the U.S. and around the world. It's important to understand that this issue is not just happening in other countries, it's happening right here at home too. People are reportedly trafficked from 127 countries and exploited in 137 countries, affecting every continent and every type of economy. Over 300,000 kids right here in the US every year. And while their stories and statistics can be overwhelming, we choose to focus on the hope. We have to start somewhere to make a difference anywhere. We're joining a handful of companies committed to making a difference in the world. You may be familiar with brands like Tom's Shoes, but there is a growing movement of socially conscious companies dedicated to changing the world. Over the coming months, we will be releasing more videos to tell the story and vision of LAUGH as we look to create awareness about the fight against child trafficking and exploitation, as well as some important LAUGH milestones and events. One of my favorite quotes is, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Please join me in making a difference in the life of a child. Live, love, and always remember to laugh.
We have to start somewhere to make a difference anywhere.
We have to start somewhere to make a difference anywhere.
We have to start somewhere to make a difference anywhere.
We have to start somewhere to make a difference anywhere.
Live,
love,
laugh.